Oh, okay, guys. So let's start. Oh, you're submitting. Wrong time. Yeah, it is cold. Oh, okay. So, yeah, your USB is there, the red one. Okay, guys. So what we were talking about was the split scope, and then let's just do that DHCP failover. Yay! So for that, we're going to we have these three machines here, and server 01, so and server 02. Okay, that was great. So server 02 and client 01. Okay, client 01. So what we need to do is that we have done the split scope already, and let's go for that DHCP failover. So the difference between split scope and failover is?
Split scope is 80-20 rules and 50-50 rules. It's a primitive kind of
okay, primitive
approach.
What do you mean by primitive?
That's old.
Which means what?
Way.
Technically, how do you call it old or primitive? What does it not have?
It cannot be. It cannot be transferred. The load balance is split like. How do I explain?
Failover scopes the DHCP failover scope.
So, what's with that?
Something about the range between the range 80.
Something about that?
80 to 20 and 50 failover.
Yeah.
The difference is redundancy.
Yes.
Failover has the redundancy that all the IPs will.
So DHCP failover has the redundancy, and DHCP split scope does not have it.
Partial.
It has
partial.
And
depends upon which split you did, right?
okay.
So 80-20 or 50-50.
Okay.
50-50 then.
But
still
it is
you're
called
losing.
primitive. It is called primitive for what reason?
And we have to actually calculate the manually as well.
That's it. Manual.
Yes.
So it does not fail over manually. Oh, automatically. So it's what's wrong with it? Yeah. So the main thing here would be that DHCP failover that we're about to try now. It automatically fails over, right? And the DHCP split scope. DHCP split scope does not fail over automatically when disaster strikes, or if we wanted to have a planned switchover, right? If we wanted to do a planned switchover or DHCP failover. Okay, in that case, so the DHCP failover is the solution that you would want, and DHCP failover, that's what we want. The split scope, you would want, if you know that, you would still go to failover, but the split scope is there. Suppose you have just one scope, and that's the only scope you want to make highly available. When we say highly available, you have to manually switch over. So we cannot say it's highly available. If one server goes down, that's it. It is waiting for you to do something about it. It's not going to automatically fail over. That's in split scope, right? So redundancy is there, but it's manual redundancy, right? Even that is not a term. But the thing is that it's not going to automatically do what redundant servers do. So DHCP failover, it automatically fails over / switchover. So I'm just gonna. So what's the difference between failover and switchover?
Failover is completely failover, and the switchover we can change it. Like the switch from one place to another.
Switch to one place or another, yes, but it's not very clear. But you're near that. What's the difference? Switch over, failover. They both transfer. services, but there's a difference. What's the difference?
Switch over, meaning like we will change, like this is the primary one, we change it to the other one as primary to default. And failover is like, it's just like a temporary thing while the thing is up.
We're kind of there, but
Like it,
yeah.
like it just switch over, then after that we can just
Failover back?
Yeah.
No, that's not it.
Okay.
So switchover is our planned moving of service from one server to another. That's switchover. That we are planning to do that. Failover, there's a failure, there's a disaster there. Then it has to fail over or move to the other. So switchover, we are intentionally doing that as a planned task. Failover, it happens when because of the incident. So always remember that. And let's go ahead. What we were talking about was split scope, and split scope, true or false. It splits. It offers services to multiple scopes at the same time. Split scope can be configured on 4 or 5 scopes at the same time. Actually, it's kind of true, but with one wizard, you cannot configure a split scope on multiple scopes. So suppose you have 3 scopes. One is 192.168.200.1. Second is 10.0.0.0. Third is 172.16 something something. 3 ranges there, 3 scopes there. So each scope will have its own split scope. So just one split scope cannot configure all 3 scopes in one wizard, right?
So even in the same server?
In the same server. Suppose you have 3 scopes. So split scope configured for first scope, split scope configured for second, split scope for third. If there are 7, 8, 10, 20, each one, so better go for DHCP failover. DHCP failover fails over the whole DHCP service from one physical server, virtual server, to another server. DHCP failover, whatever number of scopes you have here, it will just fail over all those scopes from one server to another. It will just, so what we can say under failover is all scopes can be moved in one go, right? And split scope, it's configured per scope. So that's what you need to understand. It is configured per scope. Okay guys, so it is configured per scope. Split scope, failover, all scopes can be moved in one go, right? So failover is more sophisticated and split scope is less, so more sophisticated. Okay, so let's we get an idea of split scope. Okay, it's primitive, it's manually switched from one server to another. Failover, it automatically does the same thing, so it's more sophisticated. Failover and split scope is less sophisticated, but we get to know that. Now if there is no questions, let's go do that lab. Yay. Yay. Oh, you want it faster? Okay. No, we were getting suffocated, so that's why we were doing that. Believe me, it's winter. Anwar? Is that on? Oh, you want us to suffer, right? Huh? What? We requested him that please turn this off. We are feeling cold. I don't know, maybe it's winter. I don't know, but just a wild guess, maybe. And there's a Japanese technology called mute. Okay, guys. But it's still a very nice alarm. I need to have this imported in my phone. Oh. Okay, yeah, I thought I was the only one who does that. So, yeah, okay, I thought that it's AM, PM. So, okay, guys, what we need to do is, let's go to server 1, configure DHCP failover. What we need to do is, we just have one scope there, 192.168.x.x. Instead, we're going to have 10.0.0.1 up to 10.0.0.20 just to make some fake scope. And then 172.16.29.1 up to 29.40. So it could be anything, right? Any scope. 172.16. Oh. Okay, guys. So let's go do that. So on server 1, let's log in and just create 2 more scopes, and then test our failover strategy as well. So let's click server 1 there, and if you're on server 1, let's open DHCP and simply create our 2 new scopes. Yeah. So open the DHCP console. Oh, it's updating. Oh, you have to wait it out. So let's quickly do that before Shahul could join us. So DHCP. Oh, okay. So we'll speed up our lab as well. Okay, so IPv4 here, and IPv4, and then we can right click exactly. Okay, so new scope here.
What's the difference between the scope and super scope?
Difference between super scope is that you have combination of scopes, 3 or 4 scopes at the same time. That is still, upcoming topics. Within upcoming topics, we're going to go in depth with DHCP as well. Right now, we're just going to redundancy, disaster recovery, and failover. But super scope is that suppose you have 3 or 4 scopes, so you can combine them together into one super scope. Super. Okay. So
I got a question.
Yeah.
DHCP itself,
Yeah.
let's say, would you be able to,
Yeah.
we can always give it different networks, IP address to be stored here, right? Like, let's say 10.000, there's another network.
yes.
Within the same,
Exactly.
the SAP and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So during the time, when we are creating multiple scopes in one area, do you think it's safe, or is it always better to split them?
It's actually better to create. Suppose you have there are 10 floors, and each floor has 500 computers or 1,000 computers. Big building. So that's a big broadcast domain that we're creating. Where everyone's broadcasting, okay, I'm alive. So you may want to cut it down into smaller subnets or networks. So that's why either you can go for subnet, which is 192.168.200 and 192.168.201 subnet, 202 subnet, 203 subnet. So they will have their own broadcast domain. So they will be a faster network between those subnets. Or if you really want to have a separate range, IP range, that could be because sometimes they want that. Okay, machines from sales department, we will put 10 range. Machines from marketing department, they are also in thousands, so we'll put 192 range there. So they can separate. Or if the traffic is coming from VPN, so let's give it 172.16 range there, just to give a separate range. So giving separate range is still okay. Giving separate subnet within one range is also okay. You just need to have routing enabled from layer 3 supported switch. So yes, both are okay according to the needs, or according to just the separation of these machines are belonging to this department, these machines are to this department. Or suppose for contractors, in some networks I've seen that for contractors, their machines are always one IP range, and the permanent employees, their machines are with separate IP range. So it's separation. At once we know that okay, whose machine is that. So it could be those reasons but it's better to make several subnets or even separate ranges. It's okay. Right.
So is this based on the switch where the computers are trying to do?
So you have to configure the routing between on the layer 3 switch. Well, computers could be anywhere. They are ultimately connecting to a switch. That switch has to be layer 3 switch. That's it. Expensive one. Managed layer 3 switch. So you could go inside and create subnet or create routing between the two. And we can do VLANs as well on switch level. So it has to be manageable switch. Wherever the machines are, they are connecting. Ultimately, they are connecting to a switch. So it doesn't have to be that they have to be near the switch. Right?
How would the machine
Mhm.
know to pull which DHCP address, which IP address?
So wherever the data flow is going, so switch will allow them to only connect to their local DHCP. So suppose there is a 24 port switch, there is 16 ports, one computer. So you can create a VLAN and give them 10 range there, and give them either one DHCP for them, not for 16, maybe 1600 or maybe a lot of. But the main thing is that even if you have 16 computers there and 16 there on separate VLANs and separate ranges, routing can be enabled between them within the switch, and there could be multiple switches, 10 switches having the same scenario, but one of the switch only has a DHCP in its connected to it. So all other 9 switches, PCs through routing can be requesting the IP from the DHCP. So routing just lets you ping across the switch to other range and to different subnets as well. The main thing is we need to enable routing there. So DHCP could be anywhere in the building. If it's in a LAN, you will be reaching that anyway. Yeah.
So what's the good practice what's the maximum limit for clients that any DHCP server can support?
Well, it can support thousands.
Depending on the subnet.
So exactly, depending on the subnet. Class B supports 65,000. Class A supports 16 million.
16 million.
And normally recommended is stick with Class C, 254 clients, smaller network, smaller broadcast domain, faster network. Or Class B, but smaller network still. Subnet it to just few subnets and give it Class B. So if you want to go to Class B, you may be having 500 computers there. Then you have to switch to Class B. Otherwise, I've seen in many areas, many companies, they just go for Class C, 254 computers within one subnet. If there's another subnet to be created, just create another subnet, but don't give it Class B. Class A, Class C, Class C, and enable routing between them. So smaller the network, the faster it is.
But
Right.
we are going to have a separate class for that subnet, right? And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
IP
It will be
class and
201
everything.
is one
Yeah.
subnet, 202 second subnet, 203 third subnet,
We are going to
204.
have a separate class
Yes,
for
exactly. So it will be smaller. So you have to subnet that. So if we have 1,000 machines, they cannot be one big network. Although we can make it, DHCP can take 1,000 machine, IP it can take 5,000 machines, 10,000 machine as well. But giving it to just one DHCP will make your network so slow. So you will never see that anywhere. You will always see 250 in one network, 300 machines in one network.
that.
And then you create a subnet, make a routing.
And
I
IPv6
still have
support
to
more,
do it.
right?
Yeah. Only one DHCP can support 10 subnets even, each having 254 machines. 254 by 10 to 2500. Yeah.
IPv6 can support more.
IPv6 can support a lot more, but still strategy is smaller networks. Strategy still is, because every machine is supposed to say I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. So that broadcast is unacceptable.
Just a request, Amir. Though I know that we are not
We're going to be.
working with IPv6, but could you just cover a little bit IPv6?
Oh yes. We have one class for IPv4 and v6 where we will discuss in depth and go. Okay. Whichever day we are eating, right? So we will need. After going through that, we will be very hungry automatically. Even if you just ate something, automatically you will be hungry. So, what was I? Yeah, new scope.
Please open the door.
Really? Okay.
See, it's a good thing after a
All right. So, okay, as soon as he leaves, we're going to discuss the most important topic. Okay, the most important topic is, guys. Oh, yeah, it's, I think, who? Nasser. Yeah. So, we're going to be creating 2 more scopes there. And that is, thank you, sir. So, he's not going to waste time. Thank you for that. So, let's just create 10 scope and 172 scope, because we already have 192 scope, right? We'll have to wait when they come, or shall we start and wait for them later?
No.
Just wait for like
2, 3. Is it your guarantee that they'll be here? 2, 3? Is it guarantee that if we pause, they will come, or just come? Yes, sir.
Does the machines, when you're doing the failover,
Uh huh.
I mean, to configure the failover option, does the 2 machines have to be on the same kind of OS? I mean, 2012, 2012, or 2007?
In terms of DHCP, it's not a very compulsory requirement, but better to have the same. Although DHCP of 2012 can work along with DHCP of 2016, but this needs to be tested. I would not try in production environment that. I would keep it same. Although in prerequisites it did not say that. It has to be same. So, okay guys, we will be just going for the new scope here, and let's click the next button here, and it's the 10 scope. We can just call it the 10 scope. Next, it's 10.0.0.10 up to
What's the scope name?
10 scope. So it's 10, number 10, space scope. 10.0.0.10, 10.0.0.20 up to, just as a fake range, just to say that if you had multiple ranges there, DHCP failover just fails over to the other one, no matter what, right? So, yep, it was here first, 10 scope, and then we went for. So just right click IPv4, and then click next, and then next. So it's 10.0.0.10 up to 10.0.0.20. Let's go ahead. Next. So we don't need exclusions here. Oh. All right. Is done on your machine as well? Oh, you're on updates. Okay. So next. And no exclusion range. So next. Nothing to do in exclusion range. Least duration is 8. Doesn't matter right now. Next. Yes, I want to configure these options now.
That was just next. You left it empty, right? The previous one, you just left it empty.
This one?
Yeah.
Somebody is busy. Next. And these duration 8. And then yes, I want to configure these options now. And next. So we don't have a gateway for 10, so we're not going to be communicating with them. We're not going to be connecting with them. We just want to learn what is DHCP failover.
What is
So-
the difference? What is the difference between having a gateway and having not a gateway for a different range?
So a gateway would be only one device within a network, right? Gateway is responsible for what?
To let the traffic yeah.
Go out of the network,
Right.
come in through that device to the network, right? So it could be 10.0.0, it could be 192.168.20.20, but that gateway can receive traffic from 10 range as well because of the routing we're going to be enabling. That gateway can receive traffic from 172.16 as well because of the routing that is enabling. So gateway could be just one IP. If we have given gateway in previous scope, it could be the same gateway.
Is there any advantage of having different gateways?
Well,
Range?
you know, it should be our data should be leaving through one device because there's firewall there, there's router there, so it should not have 3 or 4 exits. It can have if there's a need for that. Otherwise, better have one exit to our college, just like we have to our college, or network, just like we have one exit to our college, right? So it's better to have that one gateway there.
So due to the security as well.
Yeah, if we have 4 or 5 gateways, that, you know, it's kind of, you're opening 5 doors there. Anyone can enter from anywhere, right? So gateway could be even that 192.168.200.1. We don't have routing enabled, so we're gonna leave it as is. We're not gonna check the routing part of it, but we're gonna know how Windows routing work and how do we give commands in Windows routing. Windows also supports routing. A Windows machine can be made a router as well. Do we know that?
Yes.
How?
How?
Huh?
How? That's
There were 2 hows. I forgot. Okay, second one.
I know it can be made a router, but I don't know how.
Okay. Yes, sir.
This is only my guess.
Mm-hmm.
If suppose the Windows is treated the router, so it's Windows supposed to be the server, and that machine is connected to the different computers, which we can access the data from that computer to the server.
Okay, that could be one. So I'm just gonna create
This is
that.
my guess only.
It is.
Jazz is at the door.
Oh, Jazz at the door. Anyone? Okay, thanks.
Do you like a gateway or an internet sharing computer? Like as a
It
server?
could be that no, as a server could be a firewall. It's a firewall basically, but routing server ISA could be one, but a routing server has just this basic configuration, so we could understand that. Yeah, it has a minimum 2 network cards, and one network card is, and this is our next lab actually, the VPN lab. So one network card has 192.168 200 dot something, and the other network card on the same computer has 10.0.x.x. So you can see that if there are two separate ranges on the same Windows machine for two network cards, the routing will be enabled automatically on the Windows machine. So if you experiment that at home as well, that if you create in a virtual machine, that just create two network cards and then give them totally different ranges. So, and then what you need to do is that if you put one machine here, one VM here, and one VM here, so the VM from this side should be able to communicate with the VM on the other side, right? If the routing is enabled. Normally we have to give one command, routing command, but still this VM can communicate with or communicate to this VM as well, right? So it is so if this is possible, this means routing is enabled, and this is possible. We're going to be checking that in VPN lab now, because in VPN lab we're going to be giving two network cards, and then we're going to be putting two IP ranges there, separate IP ranges, right?
So what is the major advantage?
Or Windows router.
It's
For small companies, if they don't have a router, they can make this as a router. Or if they want to separate, suppose there are 20 machines here, 30 machines there, and it's a small company still. So and those machines have these different IP ranges, right? So IP range here for security reasons, for separation reasons, for organization reasons. They have. So you don't have to buy a router, and maybe the guy doesn't know who's running the company, doesn't know how to then run the commands on the router. So you can just make a Windows router there for a small company, and let the machines on 10 network communicate with the machines on 192 network from a Windows router itself. Small company, and especially when you don't know the commands to give on router, you can just make an easy one here, right? So somebody just good in Windows, so you can make a Windows router as well, right? So you could have your own DHCP here and DHCP here separate, or you can have on any one side just one DHCP and a DHCP relay on the other side, or you can have just one DHCP on one side and enable routing on the other side, create two scopes here. But because the routing is enabled, so 10 scope here and 192 scope both will be hosted here on the DHCP server, and clients here can still request their own scope IP from here. If routing is enabled, you can create as many scopes or as many types of scopes, like 192, 168, and then 10, and then 172 range. If routing is enabled, you can have all three types of ranges within one DHCP being served. Because routing is enabled between the two networks, that's why you are able to put the DHCP just here or just here.
So it can be in either of the networks.
Either of the network. As long as routing is enabled, you can do anything.
Finally.
Ah,
Honda Civic.
Honda Civic.
Yeah.
Oh.
In the form of coffee.
Good. Okay, guys. So I was winning so much that I was bored about winning. Oh, just kidding. No. The coffee and donut. So, okay, guys. This is the first year in 7 years that I started winning. So happy now. Okay. So anyway, yeah, Honda Civic. So let's get going with our 10 scope here. We're just making a fake scope. What we're concentrating on learning is how DHCPFailover works with a lot of scopes in a big company. So if you, so we were here on the DHCP or here, least duration. Next. So if you're on the gateway, and still, if we still insist that we must have a gateway, so let's just put that gateway there. Otherwise, we put doesn't matter right now, because it's and the gateway we decided was 1. I guess we were not using 50 now. We were using 1 as a gateway.
What?
One.
One.
So click add here. For 10 scope, we're just putting that gateway and next. It does detect the correct DNS information, which is okay. If the routing was enabled, the DNS of this range will still do name resolution for 10 range as well, but we don't have any routing enabled right now. What? Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, back. Okay, now for this game. And next. So you don't, did we have a DNS on 2? No. Well, we could have had in previous labs, so that's why it's detecting that. Otherwise, we don't have a DNS on 2.
Sir, why we are not, sorry, I thought of
No, I hurt, you hurt my feelings. No, just kidding. Yeah.
Sir, there is a domain. Domain means we can connect one child to the parents like that, right? Is it?
Yeah, these are the topics you missed. Parent domain, child domain. We discussed it in
Yeah.
very, in-depth way. So we discussed it a lot. So I'm gonna send you the videos and just
Thank
one
you so
email
much.
would be
Thank you,
good.
sir.
And I forgot that. Okay. So yeah, if you- which so it is being installed on this machine, server 1. So it's automatically detecting that what domain this machine is on, and what IP DNS IP is there. So yes, it does detect automatically the current. But it was 2, and I know that it is wrong. So I don't have a second machine having a DNS. So that's why I just removed 2 here. So I'm just removing from here as well, just for more of confusion. So if you see this, it's good. Click next. We're talking a lot of questions about the fake scope. We're not gonna even use that, but the questions are legit for a production environment. So please keep it coming. Next,
Why did you remove the Q?
because we don't have it. We may have it before, but the record just stayed there. So DNS is not right now present on server 2. So if we click the next one, WINS is there. It's a win-win situation. No. So WINS is Windows Internet Naming Service, and it is not being used a lot. It's DNS that is being used a lot. So there are no exam questions for that. So let's not configure it and click next. Yes, I want to activate the scope. Whew, we reached. Whoa. Finish. Alright, let's go for a quick third scope. Next, we're just trying to check that what a big company would look like, a scope or a DHCP of a big company would look like. Although it's 20, 30, 40, 80 scopes there, subnets after subnets after subnets for each set of machines, maybe department wise or maybe floor wise, or maybe scale wise. Maybe it's just accounting software, and then some machines are connecting to that. So one subnet for that, one subnet for test machines. So it could be many subnets there.
So can it be pinged from one to another?
Yeah, because of the routing, because we enable routing between the subnets, you can ping across those from one subnet to another. If routing is not enabled, of course we cannot do that.
In this case, we didn't do it.
In our case, we did not do that, but in production environment, we would do that. But we are making fake scopes just to see that how a DHCP of a big company would look like. That there would be so many IP ranges and so many scopes there, and still we can fail over the whole thing from one server to another.
But
Mm-hmm.
for different schools, do you have to have like CPU enabled to have access to
GPU, CPU.
GPU? Like
Oh, GPO enabled.
do you have access to file server? Or
Yes, because why? If they can ping each other, the file server could be in one subnet, printer could be in another subnet, and any other server could be in another subnet. But since if they can ping each other, they can access. And how can they ping each other? Because the routing is enabled with all of them, right? Okay, guys. So click next. That's why Cisco CCNA is so important. So we have done CCNA, right? Or we will be doing CCNA, right? All right. We have Cisco experts here.
No, I'm not expert, but I'm
But CCNP. Okay. Okay. So here scope, and then we can just go for 172.16 scope. Scope. Yeah. It could be anything else, but because it's a 172.16 scope. That's why its name is this. So let's click next. And starting IP address 172.16.10.10 whatever up to 172.16.10.20. We're not gonna use that, but
Why you make that
it's a fake scope. Yeah.
allowing only 10 IP?
Oh, okay. 70. It's a fake scope still. Okay. So yeah, it's just something. So next. Exclusion, nothing to do here. Next. Lease duration, nothing to do here. Next. Yes, I want to configure those options. Next. And the gateway could be, conceptually, we were thinking that why aren't we putting a gateway? So we can put that same gateway that we put for other scopes as long as the routing is enabled, right? So for a 172 scope or 10 scope, gateway could be just one IP because it's just one way to go out, put the data out of the network and to get it back. So click add. Next. In our case, routing is not enabled, and again, we know that server 2 does not have the DNS role installed. We know that, so it's click remove for just the 2 and backspace. Okay, turn on 1, Netplus Mina local. Next, nothing in Winds because it's old technology, and click next. Yes, I want to activate the scope. Next, and finito. Yay! So 3 scopes are there, and in large companies you would see nearly 20, 30, 40, 80 scopes there because you could organize a large amount of computers into smaller subnets. You have to create that many scopes. You cannot have in a large company 1 scope or 2 scope. Well, I didn't see that. So what do we do here?
My question is why you need too many scopes?
For this, large companies normally have that many scopes, so we're pretending that it's a large company. And
Why?
also,
What's the
significant of having large scopes for our environment,
No, for
large company, because they want to subnet, bigger networks into smaller networks, so they could be faster. Broadcast domain would be less. Broadcast domain means that hey, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. They keep on saying that. If it's a very big network and everyone's saying, I am alive, so that's a lot of traffic. So smaller network, they are just hitting their own walls, and still the other traffic needs to still travel, that can travel faster. So big network, it's a huge traffic, one huge traffic. So it's like 401 there. So if DVP is not there, then all the traffic will be coming to 401. That will be double traffic.
could be another reason like
Other than that,
IP
organization.
network, like
Organization of, suppose there's a floor 1. There are 10 floors in a building. So
Yeah,
floor
floor
1
one
scope,
scope.
floor 2 scope, floor 3 scope, or maybe there are 10 departments, so sales department scope, marketing department scope, and only the computers of marketing department can get the IP from that scope. Right? So
they're like running out of IPs.
no,
Yeah.
multiple scopes would be just to organize and make it smaller subnets. No other reason. So, okay guys, suppose this is that company's network here. What we were basically intending to do was to check that DHCP failover. So suppose DHCP is having a lot of scopes there. So first of all, let's just confirm that are we logged in from netadmin from server 2?
Yes.
That is so good, senor. And okay, 202. So we know that we are already installed an empty DHCP on server 2. So we're gonna add that. Yeah. Oh, is it sorry? Okay. Oh, you didn't say sorry now. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I was just waiting for that. So, but no, it's not. Just kidding. So it's allowed to cover. Okay, that was a bad joke. So anyway, server 1. just click this and add server. Why are we doing that?
To communicate between one server to another server
Yes. So especially we are doing it for
for the scope.
DHCP failover. So DHCP failover lab, we need to see the second server in the same console as the first server, right? So click add server. So here, what you need to do, if you know the name of that server, something happened.
I have more options when I right click on this.
So if I click here and right click this, okay. So it's okay, it doesn't matter. So add server, and then browse and always try to check name by resolving the name. So server 02 we have, and always check name.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes sir.
When you click
Browse.
there is the second option is authorized server.
Yeah.
So why we are not creating a scope in authorized server? Why we are not connected to the authorized server? Create a scope in add server.
So so let's add that and let me explain that. So press OK here. Server 2 should be added here. So when I right click, there was authorized servers here, right?
Yes.
So what are authorized servers, guys? What are authorized DHCP servers? When I say these two servers are authorized DHCP servers, what do I mean by that?
The authorized is supposed to be server 1, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Permissions
Activate
activated from? Authorized from who? From what?
from the main DHCP.
Phone?
From the main DHCP.
From AD. They get authorized from Active Directory. So Active Directory says, yes, you can work from today. Ta-da! And they're authorized. Yay! So server 2, yes, you can also work. So they're also, if they're not authorized, so if you click the unauthorized button there, this means that from Active Directory, no more authorization, they will stop working right then and there, right? So they need to just get authorization from Active Directory that can I work, even if they are joined to domain. Authorization is a separate step, right? So this means the Active Directory knows these DHCP servers. Okay guys, so does it look like this? Server 2 and server 1? Yes. So now if it looks like this, so I'm just going to keep on expanding this IPv4, and I'm going to expand the IPv4 on server 2. On server 2, do we see a scope there? We're not supposed to see a scope, but we do see a scope, right? Do we see a scope on server 2?
Yes.
We don't need that. So right click and server 2 guys, not server 1, server 2. Delete the scope on server 2. So right click on server. If you have a scope, if you don't have a scope, don't do anything, right? Wait for us. So right click, delete, yes. Now server 2 should be an empty DHCP. So is it empty for everyone?
Yes.
Yay. Okay, so here now let's go up to server 1 or wherever server 1 is, and right click on IPv4, and do we see this? Configure failover. So click that. So again, the intention is, what is the basic purpose of that? The whole set of whatever is on DHCP, all three scopes, whatever configurations are there, if in case server 1 goes down, this should all be available from server 2. If in case something happened to server 1, it should all be available on server 2. Right? We understand that, right? So but this should be available automatically now. We're not expecting split scope performance, which means we manually configure that. So this has to be done automatically now, and it does that perfectly. So if you're on this window, it is asking that are you sure that you want to make all these scopes highly available, or suppose we don't, although we want to. So if I unselect that and I want only I want this scope to be highly available, or this scope, or this scope, right? Or maybe these two only. I hate the 192, right? I don't know why. So anyway, so we can select the scopes as well. Yes, managed by different admin, and I don't want it highly available. Okay, anyway, so click select all. Okay. It just doesn't show, right? So okay, select all. So anyway, if you select one, or if you select all, it's this selection doesn't mean anything. So click next. Select all, click next. And of course the partner server, we know that which one is that, so we're gonna tell it, click add server and go to server 2, or click browse. Always add it as a check name, so you could know that name resolution is working fine. Check name server 2, press OK, press OK. Wow, it's taking too much time. Alright guys, next. Now that's what we talked in the last class, MCLT and a relationship name. So first of all, the server 1 and 2. So DHCP on DHCP server 01 / server 02. So DHCP failover server 01 server 02. So failover, although it's called failover partnership or relationship. So, but we're just giving that name. So here, maximum client lead time was that if first DHCP goes down, then the second DHCP will let this much time the clients to keep the IP addresses which were given by the lost client. So the client gave IP addresses to the server. The DHCP gave an IP address to a client. If the DHCP goes down, the client will keep that IP address till 1 hour more than the lease time. Suppose the lease time is also done. But anyway, you can keep it any number of hours or any number of minutes here. Now mode is load balance and hot standby. So the difference between the two is load balance is active passive and hot standby is active, right? Wow, I managed to confuse everyone. Woohoo! So load balance is active. So load balance is no, I said load balance is active passive, right? Load balance is active passive.
No, load balance is active.
Yes. So I said load balance is active passive. So anyway, so if it is on load balance, you can see local server, partner server 50/50. Automatically is doing that. If we put it on hot standby, you can see role of partner server standby, addresses reserved for standby server 5%, which makes sense. Why 5%? Why?
What does it mean?
So yeah, what does it mean? That's my question. So hot standby configuration, role of a partner server. So this is the active one, right?
So it's
The
95%.
the space of the server is
Yeah.
5%.
Exactly. The space of the
Well, like space of the particular
5% of IP address.
yes.
5% of IP addresses. Exactly.
Right. Thank you.
So standby or the partner server will have 5% of the IP addresses as on standby. So whenever the disaster strikes, it could use those 5% of IP addresses to still give you time to get that server up and running, right? So addresses for standby server is 5%. The rest of the 95% are given to the active server. So let's just go for our first the hot standby configuration. Now state switchover interval is actually unchecked here, right? So if we check it, so this means that how long do you want the switch over? So you there is supposed to be a switchover, but how long do you want it to be to wait and then switch over? So delay between switchover, right? So you're saying switchover. Boss, you gave me 60 minutes to stay and then switch over. So why would you want any delay here? Between I want to switch over because there's a legit reason there, maybe, right?
It could be a small glitch.
Could be a small glitch, exactly. So maybe just wait for 1 minute, right? Or 2 minutes or 10 minutes. Or after 1 hour, it's going to switch over. So you're buying some time to do something, and you know that within 1 hour, it's going to switch over. I gave it the command already, but I asked it to wait as well for 60 minutes, and you go somewhere else and do some other thing related. And then you know that within 1 hour it's going to switch over anyway. Now I don't have to be here to actually click that, right? So it could be any other reason that you would enable this, but we're gonna keep it unchecked.
client still be working on?
So if you're making it wait for a switchover, there has to be a legit reason. There has to be no downtime, or maybe it's a planned one, or you're doing it on the weekends when there is no client who needs that. So in that case, you want to switch over. Okay, maintenance mode is going on, or maybe there's patches being installed and restarted. You don't want it. You want it to switch over in 1 hour. So as soon as it starts, it will automatically switch over. You can do something else now.
So
Mhm.
if I want that, in that case I don't click it. Like I don't check it.
So if the first DHCP server is patching and is restarting, that means it's not available. At once switchover will happen. So it will wait for it to restart. Switchover is supposed to happen because one restarted, but it's going to wait this much time. And then it's going to switch over. It's supposed to, but it's going to stop
but
doing
I'm
that.
saying that I'm
Yeah.
not checking the state switchover interval. If I
It
want to
means
switch
immediately.
over right
It-
away.
Now it's right away. So enable message authentication. What is that? Shared secret. We talked about that. What is shared secret?
The password used between servers, active servers, for particular services.
Yeah.
Then the ID, that.
Password used between the servers, yes. In what occasion? For what occasion? What is exactly going on there?
Authentication.
To authenticate each other.
Yeah, but what's the reason for this?
If we access
It's
the
another
one application to all the departments, so that is why we can.
Mm,
It's
share
another layer of security.
yes, but what are you exactly doing? What task you're doing is that when you're adding a new server, when you're introducing a new server to a group of servers, that new server, for it to join the group of servers to offer the same service, it has to give that shared secret, or you have to put that shared secret on that server, then it will join. So whatever shared secret or password you create here, if any other extra server needs to join, it has to know this shared secret password, otherwise it cannot join the group. Shared secret is
security.
extra security. Suppose a hacker wants to just add the server, pretending it's a DHCP server, but it's not. But the hacker doesn't know the shared secret, so you're secure. No unauthorized joining of the group of servers can be happening, right? So that's why shared secret is there. So only the administrator who knows this password can join another server, then another server, then another server. They are all offering the same service. Yes, you're right. Oh,
Yes, you too.
you too.
Sir, the shared secret, if you give any password in the shared secret, आपने जवाब दे दिया.
Okay, so आपने जवाब दे दिया का मतलब no. It means that you have answered my question. Translation provided your teacher.
Yeah.
Free. Okay.
So it's enable and disable when you
Yeah.
click.
So,
perfect.
Either you put a password here, or you uncheck it, and it's gonna let you go ahead. But we should know the purpose of that. Purpose is that if you want other servers to join, they must give this password to join. They don't know that password, or the administrator doesn't know that password, or some junior admin doesn't know that password. Junior admin cannot join it in the absence of the senior admin. Da-da-da. Okay, anyway, so uncheck that and click next. So now what it says is that, okay, we're going for hot standby here. This means one is active, one is passive. And we will try to switch over and then check from our client that who is giving the IP now, right? So if this is the screen, let's click finito. And it's successful. Everyone is seeing that? Successful, right? So click close. And now, yeah. So here, just go to server 1, refresh. Scopes are there, but they're not there on the other one, or they are there. So let's refresh the server 2, and then yes, scopes are there. Ta-da-da. So scopes are on both these servers, but now we need to know where are we getting the DHCP IP from. So we need to go to, we can go to the client and prove it that where the IP is actually coming from. So we open on the Windows 8 machine, command prompt, 10. You got 10? 10 IP.
No, Windows 10.
Okay. Windows 10 yeah, that.
Popeyes.
With slash release and IP config slash renew. Yay! I got 62. All right. So who's giving this IP? So I'm just gonna go for IP config slash all. It has to be server 1, right? So if I go to slash all, that's a long essay. But yeah, there is the information here. And yes, in my case, DHCP server 1 is giving me an IP. Right? 200.1.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
can I take a break from it? Right?
Yes, sir. Okay. Let's take a break, guys. This could be the only break we get. So we can take a break now and that's it. Then we go straight till 9:30. 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11:30. Hey, you know that. So let's come back in 10 minutes, guys. Yeah, right. Oh, well, 10 minutes, really.
You have a timer?
Yes, sir. Oh, wait. No. But 10 minutes. Okay. So, whose Rogers is that?
It was on this week. I mean, it was.
Oh, so it's not your. I thought it was Yasmin's. No? Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Oh. Dude, please.
Okay.
All right, it's 10 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
Whoa.
देखें अभी
You want a salsa?
Oh, you don't have the
Why are you giving me this weird ass, dirty ass look?
What? That was like a bazooka. That was a triple bazooka. I think it was a nuclear bazooka with full of radiation and everything.
How could I, yeah? This is very dark.
Translation is that what are you doing and why are you doing that? She's tired. Yeah. Translation free fried right teacher.
I'm sorry, I'm not
Can't
so
move. You
tired.
can, jump from there. Thank you very much.
I'm so tired. I'm not
Yeah.
even
She's being selfish. She sells fish. Oh, okay.
Something's not good. Well, you have two coffee to give her.
Hey, yeah. I could give that coffee.
Yes.
Oh, whoa. Okay. No more comments. There are nuclear bazookas being fired. Yeah, bazooka with nuclear fuel inside or something. Alright, guys. So I really meant 10 minutes when I said 10 minutes. Oh, wow. Somebody heard me. Okay.
Still 8.
8 minutes. 2 minutes left. Wow. Somebody has a stopwatch. Okay. Oh, was I recording all that? No, please say don't. Because then all that nice conversation was recorded. It was. Okay. So, guys, everyone gets to hear that now. In fact, I'll make it a public video.
The only thing I can hear loudly is when we are speaking close today.
Oh.
When you all speak, I can't even hear the video.
Oh.
How loud I speak.
Our voice was not here? Okay.
Even when I put loud to hear otherwise, straight away your voice comes. My eardrum,
Okay. Oh, two guys. Okay. So, guys, what we were doing was we were trying to do the DHCP failover, and we have failed over. Ouch. Okay. Yeah. So that was a. Let us. So here we got the IP from this one. So let's just go to the DHCP and just simply yeah.
So right now in our scenario we selected hot standby. If we selected load down, for example, and then we have so all the IPs will be
Equally.
shaped from the
Yeah. And load balance means first PC requesting gets there, second PC requesting gets there, third there, fourth there.
so say for example at that time the first server went down. Right? So the first DHCP went down. So whatever is connected to this one, they're alive. What about the other ones that
So those which were connected to the other one are because the other one has not gone down, so they're alive. But those who were connected to the downed one will now be requesting the new IP from the surviving one. So as long as there is a DHCP, they will get an IP.
so that is much higher available than the hot
Yeah.
standby.
Hot standby.
Because you get only 5% of IP.
Yes, it depends on you as an administrator that what you want to implement. Exactly. What benefits you see in this configuration, but they do offer this configuration. And what benefits you, but I would see the same thing. Hey, both are productive, both are giving me services, so that's even better. Or one is just sitting doing nothing. So definitely it's your preference. Okay, guys. So what we are talking about here is DHCP, and first one is giving that IP. Let's change that now. So are we able to failover or switch over? So failover, we need to cause a disaster or just shut down that first server and it will fail over. But how about can we switch over? Is there a button that gives us planned switch over from server 1 being the active one to server 2 being now the active one? So how can we do it? If we go back to server 1 here, can we switch over? Is there any way to do that? So if we go to IPv4 of under server 1 inside the server 1 itself, so right click here and there's still a configure failover, but there is replicate failover scopes, and then if you go way down here there is properties here. right? So if we go to the properties under server 1 IPv4, and do you see failover tab here? So are we able to initiate a failover ourselves? Is it that advanced? Or if we click edit here, do you see the edit button on the failover tab? This one, properties, and then failover tab, and then click edit. Are we able to change it still? So it does say change to partner down here, state of the server. We could have gone to, it's not enabled now, right? We cannot switch over, right? So state of the partner server, but are we able to change anything? State switch over, enable message authentication, we don't want to do that. State over, we already selected. But mode we can still change, right? But I want to stay within the active passive and actually make passive active and the current active as passive. I want to do that. I don't want to change the mode here, but I can if I want to, right? So I don't see any options here when I go from the active server to do any switch over myself. So I'm just going to cancel out from here and cancel out from here as well. Can we do that from, can we see that from the destination server, which is right now the failover partner? So if I go down here, again there's a configure failover there, but we did configure already. And then there is replicate, we don't need that now. But if we go to the properties, do you see any signs there as well? Any options there? If we go to the failover and then go to edit. So again, change to partner down. Well, it's grayed out here. Relationship name. Yeah. This one.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you want? You want to like specific time something? No, what's it again?
So state switchover in trouble would be.
You don't want to disaster, like you don't want to.
Yeah, it's a planned changing of services
from.
from.
That what you should be looking at.
But this feature doesn't offer that. But if I click that here, state switchover. So yeah, so there will be interval of switchover here. So how long do you want to wait if the switchover is enabled, right? If the switchover is supposed to be done, how long do you want to still wait? Switchover is about to happen. No, wait 60 minutes. Wait. Now switchover. Well, it could have switched over right away. So if we cause a disaster now, it's going to switch over right away.
Was the client lead time was the one the last class you were telling about, like even though when the server switch over and then it will still allow you to keep the same, like after this time it still allows you to keep, this is extra hours
Yes.
that will allow you to keep.
Extra time that it will still keep the leaks from the first server which is down.
So this is where you
Yes, exactly. MCL.
Search for it online.
Somebody Googled it, huh?
Yes, I
Put it.
remember it.
Okay. So we don't see, it's still, if the DHCP was on top, so let's cancel out from here. If the DHCP was on top of a failover cluster, there are many advanced features, and including that you can switch over yourself. So because it's not on top of failover cluster, because we will not configure failover cluster just for having DHCP up on it, right? Failover cluster would be too complicated for DHCP, for administrator to just put DHCP on it. Maybe SQL Server, big application there, but not this, right? So how do we cause a disaster which is going to switch it over to the server 2? We can simply enable the network card on server 1 just to see if it causes this to switch over to its partner. Let's not shut it down. Let's just cause a simple disruption, a small disruption. So I'm on server 1 here, and if I go to server manager on server 1 and go to local server, so you can see that there's an Ethernet 0 here. If I click that and right click, and there's the disable button here, right? So if we click the disable, let's see what happens, and we need to enable that as well, right? So we don't have to keep it that long. So disable, gone, and the other switch should have, the other DHCP should know that. So let's enable that again, and let's see what happened, right? So enable. I just disabled it and then enabled it now. So how do we know that if there was a switchover or failover that happened, did it happen actually?
Fine.
So how can we know that?
Fine.
Uh,
Go to the client.
okay. Yeah,
I
client.
I kept it disabled.
Oh.
During the client.
So /all release renew renew. So what's the result? Tick tock. Tick tock. Tick tock. Tick tock. Anyone got it? No? It is not working. We'll get that back. No. If it's working, it's going. We have to wait for it. If it has any communication, you got it. Still one.
The same IP.
So well, if it still gets the same IP, then no same IP, but
Same IP from the second.
second server. That's what you want. First server or second server. So you got second server. We're good. You got first server. Same IP will be there. IP will not change. It's not a split scope.
I haven't done.
Okay. Yeah, but your question was? You want to ask a question or something? Oh, you forgot? Okay. You got from the second DHCP, right? Perfect.
Is that good practice to configure a nano server as a DHCP server?
Yes. DHCP it doesn't take memory and processing.
Okay.
The nano server is good.
During the process of creating a new domain controller, during that setup wizard, there were an option to export the settings to a PowerShell.
Yep.
That settings you can use it as on a nano server.
Exactly.
But it's not here.
It's so it was there for a domain controller only. For installation of Active Directory, there was a export script option,
Yeah.
but not for DHCP.
Wow.
Well, DHCP has separate scripts available on TechNet anyway. You can install easily. In fact, we did install. In previous course, we installed Nano Server, and it was part of the Nano Server, exam objective of previous course, and we installed DNS and DHCP there. In 70.740 was the main commando course. The main course, having all those
740?
70.740. This is 41.
Okay.
But Nano Server, yes, you can easily do that. Now, my IP here, hey, it didn't give me an IP. That's not fair. So, renew again. Are you kidding me? So you got an IP? How? I mean, I'm just gonna go back to server 1 and just make sure that my DHCP is up and running or not. So 200.1201, yes, it is up and running. So guys, there's another way. I don't see that the IP is coming from the second DHCP right now. Anyone else seeing that? You are seeing that. You're the only one.
Because I kept it disabled.
For?
Network of the server 1, I kept it disabled.
And until you saw the IP coming from the other one. And then you enabled it.
I'm gonna
It is still disabled.
So, yeah.
So first of all, we try to pause for a minute. Let's just disable it just to get some IP there, right? So, yeah.
Because I think let me try something.
Okay.
So what will happen after enabling the network around server?
It should not fail back. It should just keep on giving services from the current DHCP server. That should become a... the first one should be now a passive server. That's it.
Nope.
So, guys, now let's follow what Sabah did. And what we can do is, let's just keep it disabled, right? Server 1, I'm going, and just keep it disabled just to get an IP first, just to get a response from someone, right? Just to get over with it. Oh, it works, eh? See? Okay, let's go ahead.
So it's passive and the second server is reactive. How can we switch them back?
Oh, we had to cause a disaster to do that. Or restart it.
Restarting one.
Restart the active one. Or
Active one.
disable it.
Only.
Yeah.
There's no manual way. To do
So it's still sophisticated but primitive application. So sophisticated means it perfectly fails over. But there are not many options they gave us. In PowerShell, they would have done that to give a command and it's gonna switch over itself. So we have to Google that. Hey, that's your assignment now. Yay! Get a PowerShell commandlet that switches over the DHCP failover from active to passive. Thank you very much. So I'm just gonna put that in Google group as well. Hey, challenge yourself, search that, and you will learn from that. So PowerShell commandlet that helps you failover or switch over, planned failover this means, or switch over active DHCP to passive DHCP. So passive becomes active and current active becomes passive. So there should be a PowerShell commandlet because we could not find it in the graphical interface, anything. So there has to be a PowerShell commandlet for that. So go search it, please make it happen, right? So you're gonna learn this way that you're already doing that. Hey, that's too fast, man. You have to be slowing down. Come on. No, is it working? That's the main thing.
I'm just doing it.
Okay. So guys, here I've just kept it disabled for some time now, for last 5 minutes, and somebody's excited. Oh, okay. So here and renew. I'm just gonna release renew again because it is disabled now for good. And it gets our API PA 169. So renew. So we need a proof that we're getting an IP from second DHCP. We need a proof of that. So once we do that, then we're going to crash it. So guys, that was an assignment, like something we do at home. Okay, but we can do it now. So anyone, after keeping the server 1 disabled for a longer time, anyone got IP from the second one?
Not yet.
Mine, what happened is, when I disabled it from the first one, I really getting it from the second. Right?
You're getting it from second.
Yeah, I'm getting
Okay.
it from the last class, it was on the second. So what I did, okay, so I disabled the second one, I enabled the first one, and this time I release renew because it should get from the first one, but it's with me 169.
But which one is on now? Which one is active
Now
now?
currently the active one is server 1.
So it should take time for the communication. Actually, in production environment, it should not, but it is taking time for communication because of our slow network or.
Error.
But still, you will be getting the 169.
Okay, guys. So for Windows 10 machine, just go ahead and restart. So my server 1 is totally disabled, and server 2 is totally enabled. What's with totally? And Windows 10 is totally restarting. What? Go. Okay. And my coffee is totally cold.
How can we tell which one is active?
You won totally. Huh? Yes. How can we determine which one is active? So I just wanted one to be active. So you have to just go to the properties and go to that same failover tab and then go to edit. So even on failover tab, you will see which one is standby, which one is, whichever is the standby, it will show that there on the failover properties. So if it is restarted now, Windows, so you're getting IP from server 2? Perfect. So 2 guys has got it. Other guys are still trying it. So please try harder. And while server 1 is the active one, you have to have a proof that it is the active one. How? You need to go to server 1 DHCP. You have to right click the IPv4, go to properties and check the failover tab. Failover tab gives you that which is standby. Second or first? That's ridiculous.
Keyboard is still.
Really? Sorry, DHCP?
See, it's a perfect DHCP failover. I'm just kidding. Okay. I'm just, I'm not getting still that. Release and renew.
Now it's showing right away.
After, okay. Hey, at least there's an improvement here that it's showing right away the error. And release.
Now it's giving you the option. Just now we went to the IPv4 property, the failover, they changed to partner down. Now that option is
Enabled. When we caused a disaster, it decided to come up. So change to partner down means what?
change the partner down. You will change the other guy to down, and this will become the active.
Yeah.
Active then down.
Click that.
Done.
Is it responding? Is it replying?
Oh, should we?
No, if you successfully got an IP from the second one, you don't have to do anything. You're good. Anyone else who was not able to do that, was not able to get, so I'm also not getting it.
So right now the server 2 is the active, server 1 is the passive. We want to switch it, not the original way it was.
So,
Is that a causing
no, normally if the second one is giving services, normally we don't touch it to go back to the first one. Why? Because the first one had a disaster, there may be some reason that we need to investigate for a little longer time, and then so we are gonna keep services coming from the one that is working now. So failing back would not be a very good idea in that case. So I'm just gonna go to server 2 now, and I'm gonna open that DHCP there, because Active Directory is also not available right now. But if I go to server 2, which is still supposed to be active, and server 1 whose network card is disabled. So if I go to server 2 here and check out, and I'll ask him that I'll ask it that what's wrong with you? Why not you giving the IP address? So I'm just investigating the server 2 IP address should be coming to my client because server 1 is still disabled network card. So on server 2, when I go here and go to failover, so mode is still hot standby. It's supposed to be active. So it does say that lost contact with the partner, right? So if I go to edit and investigate further, now it says that if you lost contact with partner, change to partner down state, right? So it tells me when I manually go inside and investigate that, hey, change to partner down state. If I click that, what happens? Click OK to change the state of the failover relationship to partner down from communication interrupted. So it's just saying that click it to make the status this one. So if I press OK, so now it says yes, my partner is down, but does that make it active? Does that make it give IP to my client 01? Yeah, you can see. It's grayed out because you have successfully failed over to the other one. Other one is active and working and giving the IP. That if it is happening, you're not going to see that. If it is not giving an IP while it's supposed to, then you will see that you have to click that. So the second one hasn't really decided, shall I become active or let me think about it. So then we come here and give them a kick, and then we click that. Hey, you're supposed to be active now. So it did not automatically become active for some of us, and for you it became active. For you it became active, right? So that's not fair. You should also get that like us. No, just kidding. If it works, maybe it's supposed to work this way. That's why it worked. Press OK here. I want to know that is this server really active? So I'm just going to press OK here. I'm going to refresh because I am manually now running the show because server 2 did not do its part. So trying to refresh here and trying to tell it, hey buddy, you're supposed to be active. So I'm just checking here properties and just failover. It's still on hot standby mode. Are you kidding me? And there I was praising you. Okay, anyway. Release. And 169. Yee-hoo. Oh, seriously. And renew. Of course, it's on standby. I'm not expecting any IP coming here because the second server did not determine that it should become active. So in that case, one thing is possible. What? We can just restart that server to get it up and running. The server 2. So I'm just gonna go to server 1 and tell it, hey, we tested that and it didn't work. So why don't you just? I'm enabling server 1 now. Enabling it. So first of all server 1 services are back. Server 2 did not do its job. For majority of us, for 2 of us, it did. So server 1 is back. For now, that's what I'm doing, right? And Windows 10, server 1, just put the adapter to enable. Now we can test it one more way. just restart the server 1 because so first of all, let's just make sure that server 1 is back. It is giving an IP. We are functional again, and then the actual disaster where it's supposed to determine that oh, it is down, I can go up. Server 2 can determine easily now. Let's cause that. We just turned off the network card. It didn't convince server 2 to take over.
So enable it, right?
Yeah, just enable it. Go ahead, guys. Server 1, enable it. Enable the display card of network card. It's the coffee. It's too good. Yeah. So this again display card. Network card was enabled on server 1, and somebody has to convince server 1 that it's supposed to now give that IP to me back, which this client 01 wants. So what I did was that I kept the card disabled, and server 2 was still thinking what to do, right? But if on Windows 10, if I go back, it's still not deciding, so I'm just going to restart that again. That, hey, just go for that DHCP and get that IP.
It's not getting on both sides.
From both? So everyone getting 169?
Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm resetting all the variables.
Oh, then it will work. Yeah.
Final result.
So guys, oh, it didn't. Windows 10 didn't even ask me to. Oh yeah, I didn't join it to domain. So right click, command prompt admin, and yes. Now it better give me an IP, please. IP config. Yay, no IP. Seriously. IP config / release. I don't think that's gonna work as well. So ultimately, I have to take one of the DHCP down, which I haven't done till now. That's the only thing remaining now. And it worked for you, right? See, it works. Oh, what happened?
I kept it disabled, and I took out of server 1, check the client, took the IP from the server 2, go to server 2, check the properties of the failover. Now I can change the partner down.
But does it enable the server 2 to give you IP? So change partner down, it should become a active. It's active now?
Oh,
Hey,
I think now
everything
it's
is working for you. That's not fair. Oh, that's good actually, yeah.
I was doing it the right way.
No, that's good. But we're doing the same thing. Yeah, you were saying?
Now it's active. It's showing in server 2.
No, but now means what did you do last step?
Refresh it.
Just refresh?
Yeah. Now
Okay,
I can
guys.
see the IPv4 is green tick.
Oh, okay.
Let's check right now.
So, guys, what we get from here is that it is working with the same steps for few, and it is not working with the same steps for most. So, if I go back here, I would have just gone for the typical lab of let's just shut down the server and check it. But instead, I went for let's just disable the network card, just to check how quick it takes that, right? So this or disable for a long time, then it detects that. Yeah.
Sorry, it's not showing the command prompt in admin. Is it making a difference? Or I can just...
Oh yeah, Epic and Fix / release renew. It's okay.
Right click.
No, it's not showing. It's not
Oh,
showing.
okay.
I re-enabled the network card, the server 1.
Okay.
I went to DSP,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a red arrow after refreshing the load server.
Yep.
I found the red arrow on the IP4.
So it means
On both.
on both the scope of IP4 on both is disabled. This means red arrow
So the red arrow means they are
disabled. Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll just refresh on one of them, whichever is supposed to be not standby. Just enable on that, and it will work. Yeah.
I restart all and then we switch to server 1. Yeah, DHCP 1.
And DCP1 is working.
Earlier was 2. It didn't go to 1.
Okay.
I was having issues with that. So what I did, I just restart everything. Once
Mhm.
everything is restarted, the client machine was the last one I started up after everything runs. Then now it's getting from DHCP 1.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
But restarting all
Yeah. But it
should
was
not
applying-
be the
it was applying some
main thing.
settings. It
Yeah. So ours is a virtual environment, and in some cases, virtual machines are working fine and fast. But otherwise, in a virtual environment, it's not grabbing that information quick enough or full information that it could do anything about it. So I'm just gonna check one more time here. Who's the active now after going through waiting? If I go to failover here, now server 1 is showing me hot standby here. Server 1 is showing me hot standby, which it was supposed to. And if I go to server 2, so it is showing me cold standby. No, just kidding. Okay, there's no cold standby. So server 2 is also showing me hot standby, but it's saying that partner server 1 is now partner server, and mode is hot standby for server 1 here, right? So server 2 is saying, yes, I know that server 1 is a hot standby. If I go to server 1 again, just to show you that it's the same thing both servers are seeing here. Failover, partner server 2, mode is hot standby. So again, both are saying that other is hot standby. So I'm just gonna simply restart, because that's the way it always worked, and it determines that, okay, now I get it, that it restart. No, it's gonna talk to each other now when one of them is restarted. So I'm just restarting server 2 now. You know what you could do when you're repeating the lab at home? Don't disable the network card, just go for a restart, and you'll get the result right away. That's what it's supposed to do with DHCP failover. As soon as it loses, it makes sure that the communication is gone, it will take a definitive step, right? So if it was on top of a failover cluster, that's where it really performs. But you know, in previous course, this DHCP failover performed very well, but the only thing is that I just went for a shutdown. I didn't go for a display network card.
So enable network card?
So yeah, enable network card, but just shut down or restart the server.
Oh,
Server 2 or server 1. So the other could take a definitive action.
okay.
Now both are showing me hot standby. So I'm just restarting them to tell other, hey, just determine something, right? So you guys are confused right now, both server 1 and server 2. So server 2 is back. I restarted it just to check that what's the status it picks. The communication between the two servers was really questionable now. That why didn't they update each other? So server 1 still says server 2 is hot standby. You know, when we talk about hot standby, we just saw that it's kind of, if it is really a confirmed disaster, it should take any action. Otherwise, it might delay. Suppose you have a hiccup, so it's not gonna just fail over on that, and the server comes back, it's not gonna fail over on that, right? So now, we have worked or spent a lot of time on active passive. Let's go for load balancing as well. But active passive, when you redo the lab, just shut down the server and go to Tim Horton and come back. Yeah,
Shut down the server.
That's not getting the IP.
the active one, server 1.
Active one, server 1.
Yeah, you were saying?
Still not getting the IP.
Did you shut down server 2
Yes.
and kept it there, and then release renew? Okay, start server 2 and shut down server 1 now. Keep it there and wait for the IP. Right?
But you did already, but it is still hot.
I didn't go for server 1 shutdown as well. I'm just gonna restart that just to get all the servers one by one restart, so I could get some communication. So at home, don't try this at home. What? Don't disable the network card. They're not very good in communication with that. Did I say that? Okay. So if you disable, just shut it down, the server. Let the other one determine. Yes, I know it is shut down. Let me give the IP now. So let's make that experimentation a little more clearer. So lesson learned is that don't just disable network card and check it. Just shut down the server.
Disable the network card or just shut the server 1 down and see whether the client gets the IP from DHCP.
Yeah. So clearly shut down and then check if you want to check DHCP failover, right?
Sir,
Yeah.
why do you suggest me to shut down enable Netplus? You shut it down.
Enable NIC card?
You said
Yes.
You
I-
will lose your server. You have to add
No, we're not shutting down. So we're just checking DHCP failover if it works. So when we determine that, how can we determine that? We can determine that by shutting down a server just to make a replica of a disaster. So we could know, oh, it works, right? So instead of disabling the network card, just go ahead and shut it down. That's nuclear bazooka coming. And mushroom cloud. So guys, what
Guess the idea.
you got the IP? Okay. So server 2. So what it's supposed to do now, it's doing that, right? When we had to restart or shut down the other server. Yeah, NIC card disable. So we get that NIC card disable in our production environment might not really work. You have to then manually come in. So if it is not communicating with a NIC card disabling or some hiccup happens in the NIC card, you have to actually shut down that server for the other server to actually, start giving the IP. So this is another good thing that we get from the lab. We're not seeing it in the production environment, but if we see it here, we gain from that okay, in production environment it happens. So if other server is not responsive, shut down that partial disabled server. Just shut it down, right? And the other server should just go ahead and start giving the IP. Yay.
Now it's getting from 192.168 to 162, which is server 2, right?
Yeah. Server 2, that's good. That's good.
No, that's 62
Yeah.
server 2.
No, so guys, you're not going to, suppose it is giving you an IP from second DHCP, will it change that IP? Suppose you were getting 62 now, will you get 62 again, or will you be getting 72 or 73 or 82 or 83? You will be getting the same IP. Why? The whole scope was there on server 1. The whole scope will be hosted from server 2 now. So the same scope will give you an IP from server 1. The same full scope will give you an IP from server 2 now.
But my
So
server-
IP should stay the same.
but my
in
server
case.
1 is down. Like,
Yeah.
I restarted the server 1.
Yeah.
I did not go in, but my server 2 is on.
Yeah.
And my client is getting an IP 192.168.162.
Which was the same one or which is a different one? Was it the same one from the first DHCP? So in my case, it was the same one from 62 is still there. I got it from first DHCP, now I'm getting from second DHCP. But it's the same 62. Right?
It must be the same because
It has to be the
otherwise
same.
It has to be the same.
Exactly.
My server 1 is down right now.
Yeah.
So now
Still
it's-
it has to be the same. Yeah?
well, the way when you screwed up, okay, so
Yeah, it was a full screw up, guys. Yeah.
so I went ahead and I added the server on server 1,
Mhm.
server 2.
Mm-hmm.
On DHCP, and able to see both the servers and able to see the scopes. However, server 2 in DHCP, what did you add? You add a server, correct? Or no?
Yes.
Yes. Which server? What did you add?
If you are server 2,
Yeah, add 1.
then go just add one.
With the same IP and 62.
So it should always get the same IP. It should always get the same IP.
Server 2 on 2?
The other server. Yeah. Just to see if it's, in the console, you want to see two servers, right? Add the other server to on whichever you are. Just add the other one. You can't add the same one on the same server. Seriously. Okay, yeah.
It shows like
So those are
DHCP
after
server is
the
the two.
So it's supposed to be showing the same IP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the both have to
Okay,
be
there's a
similar,
mini
right?
class going on.
Because it
Yeah.
doesn't pick up. No, we were confirming the same
Yeah.
question I asked you. Can you
So,
repeat?
see this, when you're on server 2, which server are you supposed to add? Server 2? You're supposed to add server 1.
No, I mean, all the
Basics.
servers we thought server 1 we had 1 and 2, and server 2 we just had only 2. We
So
didn't
you
have
add
one.
the
Yeah.
other one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
we didn't have that one. So
yeah, I don't know why why would the confusion be there. So, okay guys, the IP should be the same, right?
How do we know
IP should be the
from
same.
which server are we getting the IP?
IP config /all.
Maybe it was
So IP is the same. The question is why?
Why?
Why should IP be different?
We have three other schools, right?
We are just getting an IP from the scope that it was working before as well. The other scopes are just fake. We're not supposed to get an IP from 10. We're not supposed to get an IP from 172.16. Right?
So who would can you get IP from those?
If we enable routing, yeah.
Or
So what
Mm-hmm.
are you trying to do at the moment?
At the moment, I'm just restarting first server. I did that, and then second moment I tried to restart the second server, and it worked.
So your mission accomplished, meaning you're putting IP from server 2?
Yes.
So yes, it got the IP from server 2.
Okay.
So now what do? I turn the server 1 back.
So you
No,
disable
you
it?
don't fail back. Keep it like that.
So currently my server 1 is turned
Oh,
off.
what?
So now we can just start that server. If the IP was successfully received from server 2, we can start.
I just checked the DHCP server, right?
Yeah.
It's 2 and that's the one we're looking for.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So I'll just put it into writing what happened, and we can just go for the next one, which is load balancing. We have to change it to load balancing, and we can do that. That we can do from within the console, right? So what happened really is that I'm just gonna start writing that and just put it in 5 or 6 lines, and we can just say, okay, that's what we did. Let's go ahead. We can't just spend all this time here for just one topic. So here,
So if
Yeah.
the server 1 and the server 2, the communication, the both communication, if we
Mhm.
lost it, so the server 2 scopes will be the same as the server 1?
if the communication is lost,
Yes.
the communication has to come up first, and then any failover will happen. So if the communication is lost, failover didn't happen in the first place.
Oh.
We have to make sure the communication is back up again.
Mhm.
So that happened. Network card disabled,
Mhm.
but it did not properly communicate with the second server.
Mhm.
So then it did not become active.
Okay, and so what about the data which are available on the server 2? It's supposed to be there, or it will be lost?
No, so data on server 2 is just the 5% of IPs because it's a passive server.
Yes, yes.
So nothing changes there. It just is waiting for confirmation that can I be active or not, right? So okay, guys, if we disable Nick the communication,
Sorry.
you can talk like this as well. Okay. So if we disable Nick the communication between the two failover partners is not complete. Well, that's what we tested, and majority of us got that result. We have to, in order to test it, we need to shut down the active one,
In my case, okay.
just to know. Oh, okay.
And I would say that is a disaster.
Yeah, it doesn't.
The real one.
Oh,
I
No.
shouldn't start server. The real one.
yeah. So
It's proving wrong.
yeah. So the thing is, first of all, DHCP failover. If you want to try it, so suppose your boss says, "Oh, I heard that DHCP failover is a cool feature, so please implement it." You will test it in the test environment of your office, and you're gonna prove it to him or her that it has certain limitations. If we lose network card communication, it's not very definitive to reply to communicate. If we shut it down, then it is definitive to reply. So in case we lose just a cable, if the cable is switched while somebody was in the data center, we're not sure that it's going to fail over. We tested it here. We know the results now. And in production environment, I would not introduce it unless everyone knows the limitations of DHCP failover as well, right? But if you had failover clustering already configured, and suppose in 70/40 we put the file server up there, we crashed it, it perfectly failed over. So failover clustering is the only feature. And when you went to failover clustering, in the roles there was DHCP there as well, right? So although the boss will say, no, you don't have to put DHCP there. Our one DHCP is okay if there are limitations here, right? So either the boss will be convinced that, yes, keep one DHCP there, or you can say that in case the one DHCP totally goes down, we still have another DHCP. We have, 80% assurance that second DHCP will jump in. If there is partial problem, so that will come to one DHCP only. If there was just one DHCP, partial problem will come to that as well. And if there were two DHCPs, partial problem does not initiate a failover, successful failover. But if the DHCP determines the other one, that one is actually down now, it does work fine in that case. So in case of one DHCP going totally down, you have a redundancy. So it still is better than having one DHCP and the only DHCP just goes down, right? So you still have a case where DHCP failover can be introduced. It doesn't hurt CPU, it doesn't hurt memory, it doesn't hurt bandwidth. Just having second DHCP in case the disaster fully strikes, the second DHCP will kick in. Better than having one DHCP still. So that's the case I would put there, that after testing and everything and confirming from Microsoft, I'll call them as well, and I'll go to TechNet in production environment. Then I will put the case that, okay, this is the case. If there's a partial unavailability, we're not sure that it's going to work, right? But if it is full down, DHCP down, it's going to work. So I would still say yes, I would go for it. So if there was just one DHCP, so today one student was saying that their network, DHCP went down, so in 4 hours they got back everything up. There was just one DHCP there. So, but it totally went down. And there was some hardware issue. They could not just get it back up. If they had the second one, they would have been working, right? So, through testing, I would have convinced them that yes, it is still good to have DHCP failover, right? So in order to test it, we need to shut down the active one just to know that the other DHCP responds right away or not, right? Oh, what happened? Lights out. Oh, there you go. So anyway, we get the idea. Okay, yeah, it's it's gonna work, and it's not gonna work as well. Yeah.
I have a problem here.
Yeah.
After starting the machines, the server 1 cannot see the server 2 in the DHCP window, and the server 2 as well.
Oh, well, that could be our virtual environment itself. You could just
Maybe
keep the server 2 down.
Start the whole program.
No, better. Now we can go for the DHCP load balance, and that should initiate a reply from both, right? DHCP load balance, that's the another mode that is available for inside the DHCP. So let's just check that and then go ahead. Oh man, we spent too much time on that. Okay, so but we have to get some kind of result from that, right? So what we did, what are the what do we achieve from here, or what do we understand from here? Okay, so here there would be when I see there, yes, we understood this, and bazooka. Okay, so okay guys. Yeah,
I'm dying.
energy drink or
Really?
something.
Notice that I'm like slouchy.
Yeah. Okay guys.
There's no food around there.
Oh, there's food.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Food.
Oh, okay. No, she meant food. Yeah.
Just
Refresh. Oh.
cheese good.
So here, server 1. Let's just put it to load balance. Yeah, there's cheese inside. Yeah. And tools. It's blurred as well. And in tools, we can go
Where are
for.
you?
Oh,
What is happening?
oh yeah. What?
What?
So guys, let's just go to load balance and just check that out.
Where's
But
that?
oh, okay. Server 1. Server 1, open DHCP. So guys, first thing, yes, it is. It's better to test here than to actually introduce it there in the production environment and then say, "Oops." So, so it's better to test here, and we tested it, and I would still convince my boss that it's good to have two than one, because when it completely goes down, the other one does kick in. But right now, if we are quickly doing that, right, in virtual environment, I've seen that it goes from bad to worst. So,
I'm having a weird situation. Since each server can't see the other, I try to ping them.
okay, yeah,
Simple. The first one cannot see the second one. The second one can see.
can see them. Oh, check your firewalls. Check the firewalls. Firewalls would be off, and by any chance they themselves change the VMnet, so check that too. No, they should not do that. Yeah. So, okay, guys, one more thing to do here, and then we go for a totally new topic. Yay!
No.
What?
We go home.
Well,
Then we go home.
DHCP?
So can you just come for 1 second?
1 second. I will take to get up.
10 seconds.
Oh, okay, 10, 9, 8. I'm gonna go to that.
Pause
No, I think.
the- Okay, so this is what happened. Look, I received the server one,
Authorized.
right? Then I went to this. He's getting everything from server 2.
Yeah.
But on server 2, it's okay. Server 2 is active.
Yeah.
This is passive.
Yeah.
And I go back on server 1. Server 2, it's
Is
just
not there
exactly.
because
so
it's not communicating with server 2. There is some
how are
communication
they
issue
getting
there.
I think it's converted.
No, so you're on server 1, right?
Yeah.
Server 1 is passive now, right? So
This should show me an X, whatever. This should be like.
no, it will not be X. It and from client only we can know that which one is active, or from server 2 as well. Yeah, yeah, it's server 2. Yeah.
This
So
is right.
just close the console and open it again, and it may update its status.
Yes.
Otherwise, it won't. So then you have to just wait for it when it updates its correct status. Right. So server 2 is here, right? But we can check from
Shutting down
clients
one server.
that what's going on
And
right
the
now.
other
Which is server
DHCP
1, right?
to be the front
So you
server,
want me
right?
to check it again?
So then there is no need
So,
If
If you're on server 2,
Yeah,
right?
this makes sense.
there is no point in
Yeah.
clicking
The
the front
user
server.
one because
Yeah,
that's
because it's anyway done.
server 2 because that's
Yeah.
the
Makes sense?
I saw one here. Oh, the program cannot open verify that. Okay,
But the
so they're
objective
not
is to
communicating with each other.
make sure to give the signal to the other server that your partner is down. So now
And
you
then
need
check
that
and
DHCP.
start it and then check.
fine.
Which you have done. Okay.
I was doing perfectly fine until I started
Oh,
listening
see
to
this? Yeah, listen to me now. See?
And then
Your
you're
network card is
enabling
disabled.
And then you
and
back
bring
to
the server one back to life.
Stick
And it's
it.
automatically because trying
So
to
that's, I wanted to do this as passive one, that's why.
But in my case it is. I shut this off. And
But you own
server
the
2 when I was
access,
thinking prime,
It's already
prime,
done,
not
but then I actually see if you
Yeah.
look at it.
and then it showed that 168 to 100 was true.
I was
But when I
getting
got
it
this
from
back to
our
life,
server one, and
then
when
it's
they
I
disabled it,
released and renewed,
Yeah.
I was
and
getting
it's
it
now
from
it's
server
1.
two.
That's what it's supposed to
So
do.
it's
Yes, but then
automatically
shouldn't they show me
getting the
properly in
DHCP
the
server.
console? It's
No,
not
one.
proper.
Also,
Did you
one
start
there is no
with the
communication
server
going on.
Yeah.
There is no network.
That's fine.
So it cannot show you any updated status now.
No, but server 2 is after
I know that
enabling
it's
this,
still the same.
after bringing this back to life, server 1 I did not.
Okay,
It's
guys.
still there.
So, okay, guys. Some labs do end up like this.
Then the server one.
But we have to just try to make sense out of what we did. If we try ourselves as well to understand, which is requested from everyone, so it's gonna make sense, right? So the thing is, try from your side, and I'm trying from my side to get some. And this is for everyone, right? For everyone, this is for everyone. Seriously, yeah. So yeah, too much trying, but it is confusing sometimes when you actually do. That's the beauty of the practical. When you start doing it, then you realize that how the technology reacts to what we do, right? So we cannot leave it to the production environment. When it happens, we'll see. Then you will see this, what happened.
Yeah.
So now that DHCP failover can act like this as well. I could not have predicted that as well, because last course we just shut down one server, bang, it goes to the other one. Okay, it works. Next topic. Here I tried a different thing, and it did not communicate properly. For me, it's really some more experience on DHCP failover. So for next time, I know if I do this, it's not going to properly communicate. If I just go for the disabling network card, it's not going to properly communicate right away. But if I disable it, but if I shut it down, it does properly communicate. So that's what I get from this one. So if I had gone for just shut down, I would never have known that it can have that breakdown of communication between each other as well, right? So this is what we get from that. So you should try to understand from this that this could happen, and it's good that we tried here instead of just reacting to when it happens in our production environment and we are clueless what to do, right? Yeah. No.
Go ahead. I had server 2 on server 1.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that.
You had server 2, server 1. So just try to add it, ping it, and then try to add it. If it doesn't get added, then just restart that and then try to add it again.
I've tried that.
So yeah,
Why
it
I
could.
think the problem is with the VMware software itself. So I shut down all the machines, then the software itself, I'm going to start again.
This virtual environment has its, sometimes it simply stops working, and whatever we want it faster, it goes from bad to worst. So I've seen this in many labs. But what you get from here, I would really want to do it in a two physical servers where the communication is perfect. There I want to just take off the cable and simply check, did it, fail over. So it should work much better than virtual environment, right? So yeah, you were have a question? Okay, that was okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah.
So now in my case, when
Mhm.
I shut down the server 1,
Mm-hmm.
I was getting IP from server 2. The DHCP server 2 was the main server, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I restarted server 1, then I did all the release renew. Now the DHCP server is server 1. Is that no? That is supposed to happen, right?
So that is supposed to happen. So it was 2.
Same.
Yeah. So this is what we are supposed to see. But it was not responding when we just disable the network card. Yeah, when it is down really, then it takes action. That's what we get from this, right? So we tested it. Majority of us got that result. So we can very clearly just make a conclusion that yes, if it's a proper disaster, then it will react. Otherwise, it won't react. Right? Okay, guys. So we understand that.
Just to clarify this point,
Yeah.
if server 2 becomes active, so it will stay active.
If it is active, it stays active. Yeah. Unless it is totally down, it
So
stays
but in my
active.
case, it was not done.
No, you restarted it.
After bringing the server 1 back to life?
Yeah.
No.
So it didn't go back. It stayed with 2.
No, it went back.
Okay, that's
But
what we're
server
saying.
2 was not restarted. Server 2 is the same.
Yeah.
And
So-
it restart server 2.
Okay, so server 1 was restarted and then it started giving the IP,
Right.
right? Okay, so that could happen, but it's not supposed to happen. So DHCP does not respond properly in our virtual environment. Just go for 2 physical servers and test it, yay! But we don't have to be really confused in that. This is still expected in a virtual environment. It's a slow network.
So what is
DHCP
the-
might not
so
communicate
in my case,
properly.
what is the ideal environment?
Ideal would be-
thing to happen.
Ideal thing to happen, if first goes down, IP should be getting from the surviving one.
Yeah, that was getting from the server.
So we're
from
good.
Server 2.
Yeah.
But when I brought back the server 1 back to life, then it started getting IP from server 1.
It must have failed over this service or switched over that service by itself, which could happen technically. It is possible, but it should not do that. We want to stay with server 2 now. but it could happen that it would have switched the service or failed back to, oh, he's back, okay, let's do that. But any definitive action will happen if it is shut down or restarted.
Oh, but again, I released and renew the IPs.
Yeah. So now the other server is still giving that service. So it's okay. So this means it's failed back. Right. So guys, here, what we get, I've just written there, and we can keep on discussing it with each particular computer. That in my case it happened, in my case this happened, in my case. So everyone's case something different was happening. But we have to conclude something, right? So conclusion is, don't test it with disabled network card ever again. Oh, okay, ever again.
No,
So
but
yeah.
The question is that you guys did that same like
Same steps. Yeah.
same steps. So why is it everyone has a different output?
Because the speed, although the hardware is same, 32 GB RAM and
Exactly,
everything,
yeah.
but still the speeds of our virtual environments are different on different computers. It's not, some have very slow computers, some have fast computers. Some have very less disk space available, some machines are totally slow. So that's why the result is different.
The speed is based on the
Availability of CPU and memory.
Yes, exactly.
And SSD
It will
disk.
take time for.
It could be different. It has been different in many cases. That what we were doing, if it's a very response conscious lab where we are supposed to get a response right away, it would be very slow. And then everyone would be, it will be slower in some, and slow in some, and fast in some. It's a virtual environment. The results could vary. They could be different as well. Right? It happens in other labs as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Should we try other VMware solution?
VMware solution? Well, VMware Workstation is good. ESXi is the other solution, but that's gonna take even more RAM and processor. So this is still the best one.
What about the
Hyper-V, it's light, but you're gonna, so for some of the steps, you're gonna have to do, where we do 2 steps here, it's 15 steps there. To configure network, to copy a file, it takes much longer in Hyper-V to do that. But Hyper-V is lighter than VMware Workstation. Right? So guys, within the DHCP failover, if both machines are up there, so DHCP load balance, we're just gonna click this load balance, and then we're going to go for Windows 10 and release and renew, right? So here, let's just do that and pretend that we achieved a lot, right? So okay, so here server 1, I'm on server 1 now, and I'm gonna add server 2 again, right, to server 1. So DHCP add server, and then go to browse and server 02, check name, press OK, and it should just add server 2 again, and then we try to configure load balancing now, which is 50-50, both are active, right? And if both are active, we're gonna just crash one of them, but this time we just crash, right? We don't go for you kept on crash. If you do a lot of crashes, then also it goes from bad to worse.
Crash.
So crash boom.
Permanent.
Yeah. Permanent crash. So server 2 here, so I'm just on server 1, server 2, right? If you are seeing these two on server 1 or server 2, what we need to do is that right click on IPv4 under server 1 or server 2, doesn't matter, but I'm under server 1 IPv4, then I go for properties here. What we're trying to do is, okay, active passive, we talked about it, we tried to do some lab on that as well. So but what about the load balancing? So now both the servers are supposed to be there working together, right? So failover, and this time you should be getting, so let's go to the tab here, and this time you should be getting an IP different from one and then different from other, because 50% of IPs will be given to server 1 and 50% of IPs will be given to server 2. So how do we change from standby to load balancing mode? So if you're on the failover tab here, then you click edit. Do you see any option there to change it from standby mode to
Yeah.
load balance? Exactly. If you click that, does it give you 50-50 here? 50-50? Yeah, right? So if we press OK, and so it now shows this mode is load balanced, but we have to have a proof of that. Does it work? So I'm going to go to server 1, refresh. I'm going to go to server 2, refresh. Right? So once both are refreshed here, I'll just go to Windows 10. Are you getting any IP right now? Right? So here, I'll just go for release renew again, and it's release IP and renewing it.
You did load balance on server 1, correct?
Yeah. So it's load balance for both. It's supposed to be for both. Both should be on load balance mode now. But we did it from server 1. So now I get an IP of 67. Before it was 62.
For me, it's 62.
So let's just
Why is that?
67 because now 50-50 IPs. So first it was active passive. So all scopes either on one server or all scopes on the second server. Now it's 50-50. Now it's like a split scope, but it's 3 scopes. If all 3 of them had routing enabled, all would have been divided into 50-50 now. So I got 67, but I have to know that is it coming from, I'm sure it's going to come from second server, right? But I need to confirm that.
Server 1, 60.
Yes, it is second server.
162.
This means it's coming from first server. Exactly. So guys, you need to make it come from the other server. If you are on one, you have to make it come on the second one. You have to make it come from the second one. If I'm on 2, I need to make it come from the first one. How do we all achieve that?
No, but it's supposed to be changes in the primary server, not supposed to be changed in the secondary server, right?
No,
If
now
we change the
both are
primaries-
primary. Both are active now.
No, you are right.
Mhm.
But if you are changing in the server 1, so it will automatically change the server 2.
Yeah, if you
Yeah, yes.
use-
If it is a server 1 is a primary. I'm talking
Oh.
about the active and passive.
Active passive. So now it's active.
Yeah.
So both, anyone can give an IP now.
Yeah, but in this case, anyone primary or anyone can be secondary.
No. So now we have changed it to load balance. So it has forgotten active passive configuration now.
Oh,
There is no longer active passive. They are both active. So active
And
passive
both
does
are
not apply.
primary.
Both are primary. Both can give an IP.
okay.
So if the client starts and it connects to the first one, second client starts, it will be redirected to the second one. Third client starts, it will redirect to the first one. Fourth, second one,
Exactly.
and it will distribute. So
Yeah.
both are giving IP. In my case, second gave me an IP.
Mhm.
In your case, first gave an IP. Can we make it that give IP from the other one now? So I'm receiving IP from 2, shut down simply. So I'm receiving from 2. I want to get IP from 1. You're receiving from 1. You want to get an IP from 2. What do? Shut down which one?
One.
Shut down the one from which you're receiving the IP now.
So I just put it as power.
Okay.
Restart.
Oh, power off would be my choice as well. Yeah. So power off is a put. Yeah.
Are we able to see the server 1 through the server 2 DHCP console? Because I can't see it.
While both are active.
Yeah.
So it should upgrade the status to on the second one as well. Otherwise, close the DHCP console and open it again. It normally updates after that, or refresh it, or simply restart at the end. Welcome to Windows. So whichever DHCP is giving you IP, shut down that one. In my case, 2 is giving me IP, so I'm going to shut down that one because I want to get an IP from first one. It should work. Did it work? Still searching, right? So I'm getting an IP from 2. Please shut it. Please. Okay.
I
So
just want
So I'm powering off server 2, right?
It's the same IP address, but it's getting from server 2.
Cool. So as long as the DHCP changed, so I'm going to power off server 2 because I'm getting an IP from server 2. So power off and gone. So, and then I'll just put it to whatever time it takes to search for a DHCP and request an IP, and DHCP acknowledges that and then gives an IP. So it could be milliseconds, it could take seconds.
So this is a pretty straightforward because both are the actors. So either we can take the IP from the server 1 or server 2. It's straightforward.
It should work straightforward as well. Because
Yeah,
we were thinking that way for the previous one. It was also, it's theoretically, it's very simple
Yeah,
concept.
it's very simple.
Yeah.
When we implement it, that's where we get 30 per hour. That's why they hire us, if we know how to implement it. So knowing the concept, very important, yes. But implementing and troubleshooting, and then get the environment up and running and keep it up and running is a totally different story.
Yeah.
So that comes from that. It's code. So that comes from experience, and you have to keep on doing that to understand that the behavior of the Windows, behavior of the DHCP, DNS. We keep on doing that to gain more experience. Oh, that's how it works. Oh, these are the limitations here. I'll be careful. My decision next time would be better because I've gone through the products now. I've gone through the testing. I've gone through the troubleshooting as well.
I've gone through this 20 years ago,
Oh, yeah, after marriage life we start counting. Before that, IT experience doesn't count. Anyway, no, it counts both ways. So anyway, I get the 67 IP, and my 2 server is effectively down. So DHCP's behavior, we know that if it is down, then it will take action. If it is, just partially not available, it's gonna be thinking, or it's not gonna take action, right? So if it is down, now I'm supposed to be getting IP from first one now. So if I go for IP config all, yes, it is from first one. Before it was from second one, now it's from first one, right? So if full disaster is done, then it will work. We get that now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So next topic is VPN, and
You have to
No,
start that
sir.
right now?
No,
That's an interesting topic, by the way.
Studio was too much.
we have 25 minutes.
Not a very
Minutes.
We
That's
only-
the spelling.
We
Minute
hardly had
test.
5 minutes
Wrong
break.
way of saying measurement.
Measure.
Measurement.
Yeah, I rather not try to say that. Measurement.
Or the schedule-
No, actually, this is a
schedule
very
is
interesting
schedule.
question. You can ask the question, so it will be easy for us to memorize within 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
10 minutes?
So this-
We have 25 minute
Yes,
tests.
start VPN, IP set,
Yeah, so we can start
not the
discussing it.
direct access.
Not the direct access? Okay, we'll avoid that topic in this course, don't worry. Huh? Okay. What? Okay, so anyway, VPN is the next topic, and we have 25 minute tests, right?
Okay.
So, VPN, does it stand for? Yay.
Can I open
That was the easy one, right?
VMware.
No.
It's VM, no?
like the lights?
Right?
No,
It doesn't cause suffocation. Oh,
Really?
yeah. Observations are more keener. All the senses are more active in the dark. Zzz, scanning. Oh, okay, anyway. So VPN is, we're going to continue that topic next class as well, if you get the video. Oh, just kidding. Oh, I was not able to upload the video for some reasons. My computer is growing old like me. So, me and my big mouth. I have a big mouth. Okay, so here,
Are you recording?
I was recording all this time. Even in the break, all the nice words said was recorded.
You didn't post the last video.
Oh, yeah. Tonight I'm gonna do that. Okay. So, guys, kindly just use that latest technology called email. Please just remind me once only. If I forget, please remind me. So I'm gonna just go ahead and so what is VPN? Why the big deal with that? Why is it used so extensively and still being used? So if there's a VPN server here, it's a secure network. So how do we connect to our office if the boss says, okay, work from home, but you have to do this is work. But of course, you have to connect securely. So how secure is VPN, and are there any other ways to connect other than VPN? Are they as secure as VPN? Hmm?
Direct connection through the internet.
No.
That's
Yes, so okay, if you don't use VPN, so over the internet you can use RDP port 3389. It's pretty unsecure, very unsecure. You're going to the jungle, the innocent one in a jungle. No, okay, so yeah, there were other ways to connect. What are those ways? Okay, VPN, RDP directly. You know, RDP is very unsecure. Third way, any other way we can connect? Third-party software, third-party team viewer, log me in, and then there are many. There are many. But through router to router, are there any other protocols that help us connect from router to router, router one branch to router second branch? CCNP section here.
Through the net.
VPN does that. Yeah.
WAN, through the WAN.
Through the WAN, VPN connects to the other office. So it's VPN, right? Hey, what is MPLS, guys?
What? Sorry?
MPLS. Something. Okay, so VPN client we can connect. So we must have a VPN client first.
MPLS is used more-
Metropolitan what? Weather system? No. Metropolitan, Toronto. Yeah, you were saying?
No, it's connectivity, right? MPLS is using the connectivity.
MPLS also is used for connectivity between two branches, but is it the whole solution for connecting two branches, or it's just helping VPN to connect, or it's helping someone?
I
So
think it's
go
both.
read the CCNP books again. Thank you very much. Oh, just kidding. So no, I should also read my CCNP books, which I never read. So okay, so definitely VPN is mostly used, but Microsoft has introduced direct access as well. So direct access gives the computer direct access. Okay, so here the two main ways Microsoft offers you to connect from your home to Office are VPN and direct access. So the only difference, just to talk about now, is first of all, don't use RDP. I've seen students using RDP here to connect with their environment. I was telling them, I can go easily in your network and tear it apart in front of you, and you won't even know who did that. So if you're connecting from RDP 389, I just need to know you're connecting from this computer, and that's it. You're gone, right? So don't take that risk. You're connecting. So yeah, we can obviously know that there are no standards in that environment, no security protocols there. That's why somebody's RDPing into their office. So that's really bad. But anyway, if you take that risk, you're gonna learn the hard way. Anyway, VPN client, you have to have that, but there are third-party. Nearly every network vendor has VPN service, right? Cisco and Huawei and Juniper, they all offer that VPN. So server side, here you can have a rack server, or you can have a VPN Microsoft server, which is a Windows machine on top of which you can put a VPN server there. Now here, you must have VPN client, and that's not the only thing that you can connect through. You should have some second, or as it is called, multi-factor authentication. What is that? Multi-factor authentication. Yeah, I think we can use it in Google as well. What?
There is a message that comes into your phone and
Yeah, it generates a code for 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds, 5 seconds. You have to put that code right away, or wait for the next code and then put it right away, and then you will be logged in, right? So it's multi-factor authentication on the basis of your cell phone. So if you don't do that, because it's so common now that VPN, though it is very secure, still they all use multi-factor authentication as well, or second way of authentication. Anyway, any second way to authenticate you, right? So direct access and VPN client, the only difference is that your VPN uses a client, right? It has to be a software, it has to be and it has to have, of course, that certificate file that in certificate file does two things: authentication and encryption, right? So
Encrypted
yeah,
connection.
exactly. So direct access, if your machine is configured with direct access, the laptop, most probably the laptop configured with direct access, can access the company network, company from anywhere, as long as you have internet connection. As soon as you have internet connection, it connects to your company right away, as if you're sitting in LAN. So that's direct access,
What do you mean by sitting in the lab?
as if you were sitting in LAN. So you're outside and you're in McDonald's and you got the internet connection. As soon as you open your laptop and log in, so at once you're connected to your network. You can just access your file server, your web server, as if you were inside the company.
It's part of the domain.
Outside.
So you're outside and you're accessing the company as if you're inside the company, right?
In the direct
It has to be a
access,
domain machine.
It has to be a domain machine, yes.
Okay,
So it is joined to the domain, but outside you're connected. But what happens is, if you're managers, senior managers, directors, they are not technical people, right? So they don't know, okay, where's that VPN client? And double click, oh, there is some problem here, and because of this DLL file. What is DLL? Okay, let me call the desktop. Other than, so if you just remove the VPN client and put direct access, as soon as the manager opens the laptop, all right, there are my files on my file server in my company, and I'm sitting in some restaurant here, and I'm still accessing my file server. I didn't have to put any security measures. Why? Direct access configured laptops, as soon as you open and it detects the internet, what happens? It initiates a lot of security protocols in the background automatically. So the non-technical guys do not have to, suppose it was a VPN client, so double click the VPN client and then try to put the username password. While they're putting the username password, somebody's just putting a camera there, and they're like, oh, what was my password again? It was A, B, C. Well, now they're not saying that loud, but still anyone can be on your shoulder, and that's it. Password is there. So you're directly connecting, but you have to still log into your laptop.
Yeah, but whoever has the laptop has the.
As long as you can log into the laptop, yes. If you can grab the laptop. So other than that, but no, it's to remove all the hassles for non-technical people to handle VPN client. That's the main purpose. But it is as secure or better secured than VPN client.
I would not.
Direct access, yeah.
I don't like the password and everything.
Please.
I would not implement that if I was.
No, right now, majority, whoever will implement, will really go through the security protocols, will really try to understand first how does it work, right? Just like cloud, everyone says, oh, it's not secured. Now, millions and millions of users, banks, governments are on the cloud. They research, they see that this is the best security because the vendors who are offering are investing billions of dollars in security, right? So if Microsoft is offering to the corporates that has to have security, the Microsoft has to convince them first, it is secure. So what are the protocols? We're going to check that what kind of security protocols are there. So IPsec is there first of all. That is supposed to be in VPN as well. That is considered one of the strong protocols, security protocols there, right? So we're going to talk about VPN protocols, and then we're going to talk about direct access. What protocols it uses? It uses IPv6 first of all. So IPv6 itself is very secure, right? So IPv6 with then help of all the protocols, security protocols, the best ones. So, but the protocols are initiated themselves. So non-technical people does not have to worry about am I secure? They can just keep on working, right? So definitely you have to secure your password at least. Even if you're not a non-technical manager, you have to, when you log into the laptop, just put a difficult password. But if VPN client doesn't work, now that's a big problem. You cannot solve that right away, and you need to connect to a conference, right? So that's it. You're not connecting. So direct access is there. It was introduced in Windows 2008. Now 2012 it has improved, and 2016 it has improved much more. So we're going to see what improvements were there when we talk about direct access. But the next topic would be VPN client. And we still have 10 minutes. Yay!
Farewell.
Enough
Yeah,
for
okay,
today.
continue.
Farewell.
12.
Nasir bhai, you can be here.
Yeah, he's
I guess.
the two guys are saying continue. It's a veto case, right?
No,
The majority says that.
Democrats.
that's okay.
It's a democratic veto power, right? Oh, okay.
No, but it is interesting. The direct access is really interesting.
Yeah.
subject.
So
The temperature, right?
how is it secure then? VPN. We need to discuss that. So we're gonna do the VPN lab, and let's try to be here on time. So guys, on Mondays it is 7. On Wednesday it is 6:30. It's not 7 on Wednesday. Please come on time. Okay guys, so see you next Monday, and let's be on time then as well. We will start VPN lab right away.